the Eagles flying by the Steelers, where, listen, all the talk about the week was the pass game. A.J. Brown said it himself. There's a lot of weird vibes with the Eagles, although they would just win every week somehow. What did they do in this one against Pittsburgh that made it look uncompetitive at times?
Right. Well, I mean, the over in the Bills-Lions and the Eagles covering the spread were two of my picks this week. And I'm sitting here to pat myself on the back, but all I'm trying to say here, and this is something me and Pete were talking about a little bit, there's a handful of teams in football right now that I just feel like I know. And the 4 teams we've talked about so far, I feel like I really do know them. And what's helped in a year like this is so much of the league sucks and is crap that I don't have to study them as much as in years past. I mean, we've had certain years where I'm going, we're getting into the second to last week of the year, and 30 out of the 32 teams are still eligible to make the playoffs.
Right.
And it would drive me crazy because I was like, I haven't watched them on film in like 2 games, and I haven't watched them on. Oh, I got to watch them. I need to watch them. I've been able to watch the top of football to the point where Pete today is like, I feel like we keep hitting on the same teams, and he's like, but like, there's not a lot of variety to hit really in the NFL right now. I mean, we know the AFC, it's like done. It's pretty much done. The NFC's pretty much done other than like 2 teams in this conversation. But to your point and to this game, they look better. Jalen Hurts, the first thing, let's just start there.
Yeah.
He hit the throws he was supposed to hit. He made the right reads that he was supposed to make. Plain and simple. I think that's where it starts.
And we went through last week, just wide open A.J. Brown, or not wide open, but where the throw is supposed to go with anticipation.
It was wide open on
and
some
him
of them.
holding the ball.
It started the game. It was slants and unders, and that's what he threw to him. And it was a lot of the same plays I showed last week.
It was like get him going.
I was just going, hey, like this is here.
Yep.
They pose an incredible matchup problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, I this is one of those where I feel like if they played 5 times, this is not going to be any different. The Eagles are going to win all 5 times. This is tough for the Steelers. The Steelers are a little bit hamstrung on how the Eagles attack. The Steelers, they're famous for, we want to confuse you, and you don't know what we're going to do, and it looks like we're playing run defense and we drop out, or it looks like we're playing pass defense and we come in and we play a run defense or blitz, and they mess with your mind. Philly had the right approach. They said, we'll spread the field so you can't do any of this crazy crap. You got to show your hand, right? And we're just going to put you in the plain and simple bind of, if you play too deep, we're going to run it. And if you try to come in and stop the run, we're going to throw to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And Pittsburgh realized really early that there was no way they could play too deep. They knew it. They were like, if Pittsburgh just rushed forward, this is Pittsburgh we're talking about. They get pressure on every quarterback in football. They realized, and they knew going into the game, our front 4 ain't ever going to get there if we just rush 4. And they knew pretty early in the game, too, our front 4 is not going to be able to stop the run without extra help from the secondary.
Well, let's show an example of it.
Right,
yeah,
let's do it.
You talk about setting the tone, Chris, and kind of making them get away from what they want to be. This is Pittsburgh, 2 deep, 4-man front.
Yep.
And just talk about the giant hole, the vacancy this leaves in the defense for Philly to run the ball.
So Philly's already hit a few easy passes and things like that. So now they're going, damn, we're worried. I mean, shit. I mean, just Devontae and AJ are one-on-one outside, and we can't stop it. We don't have that corner that can stop these guys and do that. So here they are. It's Jalen in the shotgun, Saquon to the right. AJ and Devontae Smith are the 2 receivers to the right. I believe it's Calcaterra and another tight end to the left there. But it's a shotgun 4-receiver type formation. The Steelers are playing like 4 down linemen, 3 linebacker nickelbacks, right? And then like a cover 2 shell. And my point is, and this is where the Eagles are not overly complicated, as anybody that's been listening to the podcast knows that by now. And they're one of those teams that can keep it simple, stupid, and still dominate you. And it really just comes down to this. You play too deep, we're going to run the ball.
Right.
So here we go. Let's show it. This is one of they only have 3 run plays on their whole playbook, basically. Okay, I say that jokingly, and it's also awesome. They're going to run in between the tackle and the guard and pull the center around. And Connor, I don't want to be one that's like, talking here. Tell me how big you think that hole is there.
You could drive a SUV through that gap right there. I mean, literally.
They blocked down on Cam Hayward with one of the best guards in football, Landon Dickerson. Mailata pushed out Highsmith at DN. Juergens is pulling around now going, the hole's so big and there's nobody here for me to even block.
Who do I get hands on?
Who do I get? Who wants to come up here so I can block him? And they give it to Saquon Barkley, and he rips off a big run.
Yeah, 22 yards.
So that's what I'm talking about there. That's where they knew, and if they played those defenses right there, they were in trouble. They couldn't get to Jalen Hurts if he did drop back to pass. And, of course, in the run game, there was holes like that when they played that type of defense.
Something that's still interesting, though, with this Eagles team that you alluded to, you really highlighted in your notes, is they are still sticking with plays, even if the look isn't there.
Yes.
They're almost stubborn to a fault.
Yes.
Do you think that's Sirianni or the quarterback, or just everybody needs to figure that part out?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit of both, right? I think the quarterback likes things the way they are.
Right.
I think they also look at it and go, hey, we're really good and we don't need to complicate things or have people missing assignments or, oh, he checked to this play and we haven't blocked it against this game scheme, this specific scheme defense we're doing. I've definitely heard the stories from people in the know down there that Jalen Hurts is, hey, I don't want to do that. I want things similar to the year we won the Super Bowl, and I'm fine with that. But I think there's got to be a little bit more, okay? Because like the Super Bowl 2 years ago, the Chiefs threw some stuff at them, and they didn't have answers, and there was things you had to answer at the line of scrimmage. And what I was just saying is, they need to have a little bit more of just some 2 plays called in the huddle. Because, yes, there are still a number of plays, for as good as they are, where they run the ball into looks where you go, this is going to be a tough run no matter what. And I think we got one to show
Yeah,
here.
we do. Right at a half. This is the first play of the second half. Obviously, their personnel would indicate run, Chris. And the Steelers, though, pretty heavy box.
But, it's 2 tight ends in here, right? So, but it's an 8-man box. It's a bare front.
Right.
It's 5 D linemen across the way. And then basically 3 guys at the next level, Minkah Fitzpatrick being one of them, that's made an 8-man box. My point here is not that they can't still run the ball this way, but go back to that first picture one more time, Pete. So you see there's a lot of people there, right? So this is tough sledding, let alone this is Pittsburgh, and they got big people and are physical. But my point is, you can't let people play this coverage against these 2 freak shows on the outside.
It's crazy.
You can. I don't care what it doesn't have to be. Throw them a 5-yard hitch route. Throw them a slant route. Throw them an out route. It doesn't matter because they break that tackle. It's going to be like, they might go to the house. So that is my point, right? Instead of let's run it up the middle here and maybe get 1 or 2, you're going to scare the defense a lot more if you had another play in the huddle call, then he went check, 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 right? Kill, 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 like we see everybody do in football. And then they get to the pass play, and these guys aren't going to be able to cover these 2 guys outside. So that's what I mean. I just wish they had a little bit more of an element of that because it would make them almost impossible to defend if they got this involved in their offense.
I mean, look how much bigger A.J. Brown is than the defensive back in
Joey
front of
Porter
him.
met his match. That's not Joey Porter
No,
but Joey Porter met his match.
Big
first,
for a
he's
corner.
big, right.
Yeah, but
he met his match in this game. This is the first time he got in an NFL game and went, wait, I can't push this guy around and manhandle him like I usually do.
So this was a key example of them sticking with the run, even against the 8-man box. We have on the next play,
the
Steelers get away from that. They're going to show a lighter box, but Philly instead doesn't check into the run.
And here's the opposite side of this story, right? So the Steelers are just guessing. They're just guessing is what they're going. They're going, I think Sirianni will go to the pass here, right? Let's play 2 deep and do that. And my point is
second
here,
and 8.
Second and 8, right? Which is perfect
Passing
logic.
down.
I understand it. It's that. But again, the point is on this, don't let them do this. You got with the quarterback and the quarterback design run, you still got an advantage here in being able to run the football. They can't stop it. They're not going to be able to stop it, let alone your guys are just better than their guys. And I just want to emphasize this too, because I've said it and I want to say it again because the Eagles' offensive line is so special. I'm telling you, I put it up there with the mid-90s Cowboys. There is not a unit in football, not an offensive line unit, that is like this group. I mean, when you talk about Mailata and Landon Dickerson, Mailata's 350, Landon Dickerson's 330, Juergens just south of 300, which is fine because he needs to do athletic stuff as a center, just like what Kelsey did. Mekhi Becton's your right guard at 360, and Lane Johnson at right tackle is 325. They're ass kickers. They will maul you. And that's where, like here's one where, look, if they just, you see a little play action, you go, well, they can't stop the run here if you just gave the ball to them. It doesn't matter. It's going to be Saquon one-on-one with Patrick Queen, and that's where I just would like to see more of that in their offense.
All right, the final word on this game. Let's take a look at the notebook here, Chris, what your final word was for this one.
Okay, so I wrote 10-minute, 30-second drive to end it says it all, right? I mean, that says it all. They got the ball in their own 1-yard line, up by 14 with 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and they said, screw you, we're going to go down the field and end the game.
You're never getting this back.
Never getting it back, right? I wrote, all right, so 10-minute, 30-second drive to end it says it all. If they play 5 more times, the Eagles will win all 5. They never stopped Philly except for one drive late in the second quarter. I know they caused a turnover one, but you know what I mean by stopped. Like the drive fizzled out and nothing happened, and that was because late in the second quarter they kind of got into like, hey, 2 minute, we need to go down and pass the ball. But other than that, they never stopped them all day, and I don't think they can ever stop them going forward. The Eagles are a tough matchup for that Steelers defense.
So if the Eagles, the Steelers defense stood no chance against the Eagles, who is a unit in the NFC that does right now? I mean, because the Steelers have bodies.
No, I know.
And they play. And we're talking about on the other side with the NFC, the Lions are out of people.
Yes, the Lions are going to have to win it with their offense.
Right. They're going to have to outscore you.
They're going to have to do that and put pressure on you that way, right? Green Bay, I think, is a team that has the horses to make things, and they have a creativity to make Jalen and Sirianni and Kellen Moore think a little bit.
They're athletic enough.
They're athletic enough. They got some corners when Jai Alexander's healthy that you go, they can gamble man-on-man every now and then. And I think they got enough big people and versatility up front that they'd be a team that I'd look at to go, that'd be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Tampa has some of the big people to slow down the run aspect. You just worry about them in the pass game, right?
Because they've been a bottom unit.
It has been a bad unit in that department. So I look at it like that. Minnesota, too, I'm not going to cancel them out to be at least a pain in the ass.
Right.
I don't think they're as talented as the other teams we talked about here as far as up front, but the coach is damn good, and he can certainly trick you a little bit.
Yeah, Flores is getting the most out of what they have.
Exactly
on that
right.
roster,
That's exactly
sure.
right. Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.